And we're back now talking about the principal caught on school bus surveillance shoving an 8-year-old boy. Prosecutors are not filing any criminal charges because corporal punishment is legal in Indiana. Joining me now to talk about all this, Cathy Areu, former high school principal, and Alexandra Curlin, an attorney in Indiana who specializes in education law. Ladies, before we talk about it, I want to see what the folks at home have to say about this. Let's go to Ruth in North Carolina. Ruth, you see the video. What do you see?
I think it's appalling. I'm a grandmother, and I've had children and grandchildren in school, and no teacher, no principal should put their hands on our children. If they have a problem, they call the parents and the principal can deal with it together. But you don't take a child and belittle them in front of other kids or other people.
Yeah, Ruth, I agree with you, and I'm not enjoying watching this child getting shoved around. And what's the lesson that he's learning here? You know, you do something wrong, the solution is some form of violence, albeit not over-the-top violence, but it's grabbing, it's shoving, it's yelling, it's poking him in the head. Ruth, thanks so much. Kathleen in Connecticut, what do you see? Is this abuse or discipline?
This is discipline, because today's kids, they get away with a lot of things that they shouldn't be getting away with, and they should be properly disciplined. We got strapped, we got hit, we got everything when we were young. And
just because you got hit, you want all the kids to get... Kathleen, thanks. I really appreciate your point of view. All right, Cathy, let me go to you. Cathy Areu, abuse or discipline here?
Yeah. I think this is abuse. I mean, contrary to popular belief and as archaic and barbaric as it sounds, corporal punishment is legal in about 20 states in the United States, mostly in the South. However, I wouldn't call this corporal punishment because it's not with a paddle. It wasn't with an open hand. I mean, she was actually shoving and pushing this child around.
Yeah, and you have to look at what motivates it, Cathy.
Yeah.
Do you think what's motivating it in this? Let me ask Alexandra on this. Do you think what's motivating it is the anger of the principal? She's angry. The kid's writing on the back of the seat. She gets a little angry with him, and that's what I'm seeing here.
I think clearly she's frustrated. Absolutely.
So in this case, what should we be able to do? A corporal punishment legal, as Cathy stated. You take a look at a map. And you see the states where it is legal. Most of them up in the north, but it's illegal in the north, but legal in the south. That's where it's banned in the orange. You look down in the gray. That's where it's permitted. It's permitted in most of the states of the United States, Alexandra. But you know, where does the liability start for teachers if they are, in fact, going to start touching our kids and pushing them and poking them and shaking them?
You know, I think that's an interesting question. Obviously, yes, in Indiana, corporal punishment is legal. Having said that, many school districts, if not all school districts, have said that they don't use corporal punishment as a way to discipline students on a daily basis. We do in Indiana also have tort immunity for teachers who are in the scope, disciplining students within the scope of their responsibilities. So legally, it puts parents in sort of a bind when something like this happens to their child.
Cathy, what should we do? What should we do with this principal? If, in fact, and again, she's been cleared of any charges, we reached out, they have not gotten back to us. If she's shaking and poking and pulling this kid, should we sit the teacher down and say, hey, is there the principal down and say, hey, there's a way to teach this child and discipline him without physically touching him or intimidating him?
Absolutely. I mean, clearly she shows a history of doing this, and it seems like it's very emotional for her. It doesn't seem very organized and done in her office with a paddle, the way that it's supposed to be done according to the law. But violence like this makes a student violent. There are studies that show that. So students who are paddled in school tend to drop out more than other students who are not hit. So paddling is not the answer. Hitting is not the answer. She needs to stop.
Yeah, here's my question that I would pose to the principal if she was on the show tonight. I'd say, if that student was doing what you did to that student to another student, what would happen here? If this 8-year-old kid was grabbing a fellow classmate like that, what would happen? Cathy, Alexandra, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Murder in 9